Hang on for a sec. Hey guys, this is my live reaction to The Walking Dead. Where is my stupid notebook? Give me a sec, guys. Where's that dumbass notebook? Huh? Found it. Hang on, guys. Hang on. I just want to know what episode. Oh, paper's flying. Alright. Walking Dead. Okay. It's 26. Yeah, okay. It's episode 11 of season 7, titled Hostiles and Calamities. It premiered at 9. Unfortunately for me, when it premiered, I was out for dinner with family, so I wasn't able to catch it. But luckily for me, I was able to catch the replay, which is on now. From what I saw, obviously this takes place shortly after Daryl leaves, because the Saviors just found Fat Joey's dead body. Remember, Daryl killed him, because unfortunately he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He encountered Daryl when he was escaping. And Dwight sees Fat Joey's dead body. He notices that the motorcycle's gone. I think it was Daryl's bike. It might have been Daryl's bike, actually. Remember, Dwight took Daryl's vest and ends up with Daryl's bike. I think he noticed that the bike that was taken by Daryl must have been Daryl's. But anyways, he also goes to where Daryl's room was. He's not there. And Negan's back. There was that one lady that came along with the Saviors to go to Alexandria. The blonde one. I think she was also flirting with shoot, I forgot his name already. I forgot his name already. That one dude's son. Hey, hang on, guys. So, holy crap, guys. It's still on right now, but around the time Daryl escaped, Dwight's ex-wife, Negan's wife, she disappeared too. So, is she the one that gave Daryl the key? Because Dwight found the note that the key was on that says, "Go now," and he's looking at it like he recognizes the handwriting, and I'm assuming it might have been Sherry. Negan just might have confirmed my suspicions, because he's like, Daryl disappears, and now I'm down a wife, and it just happens to be Sherry. Oh, snap. I'll be right back, guys. Hang on. Okay, I know I actually unpaused in the middle of the actual show, but I thought that was interesting, because Eugene was brought in. Remember that one chick that was, oh god, I forgot what his name was, but he was the guy who was he was the son of the main lady of Alexandria, and he ended up getting gutted by Negan. Remember there was this one blonde savior that was flirting with him in the beginning? Yeah, she's the one that was pretty much in charge, taking Eugene. Apparently Eugene was freaking out because he thought he was going to be sent to like a torture room or something, but turns out she brought him to a normal looking room that kind of looks like Negan's room and Dwight's room. It's like a nice normal room with a refrigerator, a sink, a nice bed and clothes. I think even like a boombox in there or something. And freaking Eugene's like, she offers to get him food, anything he wants. He's like, really? Anything? I can get anything. And she obviously gets annoyed because he constantly like tries to confirm like he can get anything, and he actually asks for lobster. I'm like, really? But anyway, Eugene pretty much, after she's like, I'll be back in 10 minutes, he pretty much leaves, and he pretty much locks the door, and he turns on the stereo, and it's that same stupid song. It's like, Easy Street, and all that stuff, right? And he's actually bobbing his head to it. I'm like, I don't know if he's trying to, integrate himself so he doesn't get killed, or he's just really into that song. But anyway, Dwight goes to his room to get a walkie-talkie, only to find that his entire room's all messed up, because remember, Daryl hid in there and pretty much found out it's Dwight's room and just jacks up everything. And while he's at it, he finds that note. Remember, Daryl escaped because somebody slipped a note underneath his door. The note says, "Go now," and behind the note was the key to his door, right? Dwight finds that exact note. I'm guessing Daryl must have dropped it after he took the key, right? And ended up in Dwight's room. Dwight finds the note in his room, and for some reason he looks at it and he has like this hint of recognition, right? And I'm only assuming that maybe it might have been Sherry's handwriting, because why else would he look at the note, look at the handwriting, and he's like, it's like he has this he recognizes the penmanship, right? So I was like, maybe the person who slipped the note was Sherry. Sherry is one of my top 2 people who I assumed gave Daryl the note back then. I think in one of the previous videos I actually mentioned that my top 3 people that slipped the note with the key to Daryl was Jesus, mainly because he snuck in, and I figured, he might have found out where Daryl was and he got the key somehow, because he's a sneaky little bastard. He probably got the key, gave it to him, right? I thought maybe Sherry, because Sherry seems to have a soft spot for Daryl. And then I thought maybe Dwight turned over a leaf and he was my 3rd choice. Turns out my 2nd choice might have been it. I really thought it was Jesus for the longest time, because Jesus was the one that pretty much found Daryl after he pretty much killed Fat Joey. And I assumed that Jesus was the one, slipped him the key. He went in the Savior compound, found the key, found where Daryl was, slipped the key there, and then probably checked the perimeter to see if everything was okay, so he and Daryl could leave, and then he just reunited with Daryl as Daryl finished killing Fat Joey. But now seeing Dwight's reaction to the note, the penmanship on the note, my 2nd choice being Sherry might have been the one to pretty much break Daryl out, mainly because apparently, according to Negan, the moment Daryl disappeared, Sherry did too. But anyway, the commercial's about to end. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I totally saw that. Anyway, the blonde chick, it's pretty much his advocate, that one blonde chick, like, teaching him the ways and everything, even got him a whole jar of pickles for him. What I thought was funny, like, the fact that she got him pickles, but then she took him out to Negan. He's with, like, a couple of his buddy saviors there, right? And they're all watching him, and he's like, you're the one that made this bullet in you seal. Usually I would bash you over the head, but you're smart. I think I could use you, right? And, then they pretty much pan over to that walker-filled fence that they have. And one of the walkers actually, like, in half. And he's like, since you're so smart, because Eugene was babbling and pretty much saying all his PhDs and his doctorate and all that stuff. He's like, since you're so smart, here's a tester. What can you do to help prevent these walkers from like that? How do you keep them on your feet? Because these walkers keep all the misfits away, but they keep falling apart. So tell me, Smarty Pants, how do I keep them together, right? At first I thought Eugene was gonna crack, because he was whimpering and crying and shit. But like, he ends up saying something about like melting metal and then pouring it over the walkers, especially on their heads, so they get protected from head trauma. And that should keep them cemented into the wall, the fence. Apparently Eugene saw that they had something in their compound that could help melt metal, and I thought that was interesting how Eugene noticed that. But after he says that, Negan's like so happy. He's like, you're brilliant. Not only is that smart, that's badass, because the metal head and shit like that. So he's like, you know what, Rick's lost our game, which I thought was pretty accurate, because no one really used his gifts ever since Eugene told Rick's group, and especially Abraham, Rosita, Tara, and Glenn and all them, that he wasn't a scientist, that he didn't know a cure. They just hardly listened to him anymore. They always just thought he was this coward dumbass that didn't know anything anymore, right? But he's actually pretty damn smart. He actually thought of all this with Negan, so it's like, it kind of is Rick's group's loss. They didn't really take advantage of his smart-ass brain, because he may have not known a cure, and he may be a coward, but he's still pretty damn smart. So it is kind of Rick's loss for not taking advantage of Eugene's brain while they still have it. Now Negan has it, which kind of sucks for them, right? But anyway, yeah. But what I noticed, though, as the lady, like, Negan's like, you know what, as a thank you, I'm gonna send some of my wives to you. You guys could have dinner, get drunk, talk and all that stuff. That's fine, just no hanky-panky, right? And he's like, you have wives, as in plural? It's like, yeah, wives. So go have some fun. And so that blonde chick pretty much takes him away, and as they're walking away from Negan, like, Eugene's back is to Negan, right? You see Eugene smiling. And it's like, Eugene, the way that he was all nervous and shit, is that actually just, is he just, faking it? Because he's all like stumbling and all crying and mumbling and all that shit. But as he's walking away, and Negan can't see his face, and the blonde chick's behind him, right? Just telling him to go, and she's like literally behind him, so she can't really see his face. I don't think she can anyway, but he was smiling as he's walking away from Negan. He's no longer stuttering, he's no longer crying, he was straight up smiling, like smirk smiling. And it's like, was all that an act? To fool Negan to thinking he was just a helpless guy? And is Eugene actually going to be our inside man? That's pretty damn cool. Anyway, the thing's over, so I'll be right back. Shh, guys, hang on.
Are you saying you can't do it?
My ability is not the problem here. I could jerry-rig a lethal toxin to
So apparently,
problemo. I
Then
have
help
to.
us. A pill, a shot, whatever.
so apparently Eugene pretty much took all three girls and did like this little science experiment where he made like a little vial thing explode and made balloons explode, like a little explosion. And
You are good, Eugene.
Dwight ended up in this house. For a moment I thought it was the house that Carol was in, and I freaked out. But like turns out that the house he went to was actually his house with his wife Sherry. He was hoping that maybe she was there, and apparently she was, because as he was looking around, you actually hear a Sherry monologue, and it turns out that monologue is actually a note that Dwight ends up finding in the room. Sherry was in fact there, and she wrote a note to him saying, basically she told him, I love the way you were. Sorry, there's a commercial now. Basically, she told him, I love the way you were, but unfortunately for me, I turned you into a monster. And she's like, and she actually admitted that she was the one that actually let Daryl go. So my second choice on who let Daryl go, being Sherry, was actually correct. Dwight even confirmed it even more before you find out in the letter, because like when he's searching through the house, he takes out that note. He actually brought the note with him, the one that says "Go now," and he finds an old note that Sherry wrote that was sitting in the house, and he compares the letters, and it's actually a completely good match, and it's pretty much confirmed in the letter that Sherry left behind in the house. And you hear Sherry out loud, like a monologue, pretty much monologuing it. Turns out she was in fact the one that let Daryl go, and the reason why is because she said herself in the letter that she let Daryl go because she knew that Daryl reminded Dwight of the man he used to be, right? And basically she's like, I left, and I know I'm not going to survive out there, but death is far... Being there in Negan's compound with the Saviors is far worse than death, basically. And not only did she leave a letter there, she left her engagement and wedding ring bands on top of the note, which really sucks. Anyways, I am running out of time. I'll see you in a part 2 video for the live, okay? Hang on.